Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is the 4th episode of the Reduced to Clear Biscuits. I am your host, Shane Hinton. Unfortunately, there's no Alex today, thank God. So it's going to be, I'm running the show. This is my podcast now. This is a Hinton takeover. This is what we're doing right now. Anyway, so we missed a week last week with this limited series because there was a few scheduling issues and we're all really busy because we've all got lives.
And it just means that now we've got a load of stuff to talk about, whereas before we were actually everything's come to place for us in about the past week. So we were in limbo of things we weren't allowed to say last recording session, whereas now I think pretty much everything is in the open about our film.
Pretty much, yeah.
So we decided to can it for a week and have a week off while Luke and Alex, who are with me today, to just sort of collect our thoughts, as it were. And no, you guys have released some pretty big news recently, haven't you?
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
So you've been busy. So come on, guys, what have you been up to? What have you been doing?
Cool. Should we start with the budget? Because that seems like something.
I think we should start with Luke's haircut.
You've had a haircut, Luke.
You can see my face now. It's
I've still not got mine yet. May 4th. It's quite busy, so I have to stick a cap on. Yeah.
This is the beauty of being a bald man, is that I don't actually have this issue.
I didn't even know you were bald.
Yeah, look, completely bald.
Oh my gosh!
I don't think I do either.
Secrets have been revealed today. Damn.
Yeah,
okay.
Unfortunately, I lost my hair when I was in my mid-late teens. I started losing it, and then somebody literally said to me, "You look a pillock. You just need to stop. Just shave it off." So I started doing like a number 3 and number 2 and then number 1, and a silver bladed it, and now I wet shave it.
Oh, well, yeah. You see the hat. I like it.
Well, this is the thing, right? Is that my head started getting cold. You guys won't understand that any bald men listening will understand this issue, but it's a problem. Rain goes straight into your eyes. The only line of defense for rain is your eyebrows, and nobody understands how difficult it is as a man walking around with a bald head when it's raining. It is horrific. So I started wearing a hat, right? And I started just wearing it all the time, and and got to the point when people like yourselves didn't know that I was bald because I wear a hat all the time, and all my social media pictures of me with a hat, and now I can't take it off because my hat's now in my hair.
Thanks for the flat cap origin story. I needed to know that.
So there you go.
Flat cap origins. That's got to be today's title.
It's a pretty good title.
What's your go-to haircut, Luke? Is it short back and sides?
I literally go to my hairdresser and say, I have no idea what I want. Just tell me what looks good.
Just fix it.
Basically. And she knows what she's doing, which is why, actually, when I got my haircut, I was like, hey, do you want to come and do hair and makeup for Reduced to Clear? And she said yes. So shout out to Jessica's salon in Oaken Gates. There we go.
That's a good segue. That was a good segue.
That was. I like that. I didn't. It's not like any obligation that I had to promote them, but it felt like a good time. So shout out to Jessica's salon.
I'm assuming that's Telford.
Yeah, it's Telford. Yeah.
Don't go to Jessica's salon. Anyway, so Alex, you haven't had your haircut yet?
No, not yet. Sorry. May 4th. It was shut for a bit, and also I've only had my haircut once in just over a year now. I got it cut in October, and that was it. Yeah.
Maybe you should shave it off for charity.
Yeah.
Or raise money for Reduced to Clear.
No, I'm sorry. I used to have it really short and it was straight, and I didn't even know I had curly hair till last year, and then it just grew. Luke, and it was mental.
How do you cope with this lack of commitment? I mean,
you're fine with it, right?
I saw a leg off for Reduced to Clear for charity, and he won't cut his hair.
For God's sake, Alex, you had one job, dude. You had one job. So, with regards to Reduced to Clear,
for legal reasons, I will not saw a leg off, no matter how much.
Just making that clear right now. So what have you? What's new? What's happened since the last time we spoke? I think the last episode was with Winter, wasn't it?
Yes. So we
parallel laughs, by the way. If you haven't seen it yet, you need to go back and watch it. It's so funny. So funny.
I was listening back to that on the bus, and I was just having to be like, I can't I need to stay as quiet as I can, but I just want to burst out laughing so much. It was so much fun.
The guy's a genius. I love him.
Yeah.
I love him to bits.
We're really looking forward to filming with all our cast, but like Winter, because of obviously that improv stuff, I'm sure we're going to have a couple of takes of his scenes with.
There's no point in writing a script for him, really, is there? It's just
he makes his own script. It's mad. Like he literally changed our part for us.
Yeah, maybe he didn't actually lose the script.
No,
maybe he just rewrote it.
Yeah,
you just got your script. It's like, yeah, that's going to bin.
pretty much.
But
so,
yeah,
what's new?
I think in order we hitting our finishing the crowdfund was first, right?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
we did our crowd. Yeah, we absolutely demolished our target. We went all the way to what was it, 1,083? Was it 82? 82. Damn, that £1.
What was your target?
750.
It was 750. Yeah,
wow.
Mad.
So how much of a difference is that going to make for Reduced to Clear? I mean, are we talking like it's going to be much better cameras, or like you're going to have better? How does that translate to you guys?
Well, it means that the people can actually come. First of all, that's quite good. And then they can stay for a few, they can actually stay for the filming as well, rather than us having to pay for them back and forth.
Or trying to find spare rooms and houses.
Yeah, it's just
the fact we can't afford accommodation for them.
Can Winter come and stay?
But, it's been it's interesting. But in another way, we were just starting to work out the other day, kind of how much we were needing to put aside for transport, for accommodation and stuff. And I was saying to Alex, I was like, I'm terrified all this money's going. And then he had to remind me, yes, but this is what the money was for.
Yeah.
Don't treat it as, we've only got 500 left. Treat it as we've got 500 left over from what the main thing was good. For. I don't know if we've got 500 left over.
I mean, that's going to cost quite a bit. I mean, obviously Winter's in Ireland. Yeah, he's in Ireland, isn't he?
He's around London now, I think.
Is he?
Yeah,
that's handy.
It is.
It's pretty
handy. We've got a few folk from London, including our next bit of news.
Is this our main man?
You're smashing these segues through, Luke. I'm quite impressed.
Yeah, well done, Luke. Damn. Is this our main man?
I'm just going to sit back. I'm just going to...
Edward. Go for a second name.
Tidy.
Edward Tidy, guys.
That announcement was better than how it went on Radio Shropshire, let's be honest.
Yeah, it was.
It was good biscuit before BBC.
It was
we had a slot on Radio Shropshire to do it, and it ended up like a very weird mess of an announcement.
It was exactly how I imagined it.
Yeah, it was really funny because we had this build up. People go listen. They probably put it up on our YouTube channel by now. I've been to get to that. People try and listen back to it because essentially it was like. Mark, the presenter, had been chatting with us, and he was telling us we got this big announcement coming, but both of us didn't know what to say. Edward thought, "Oh, I guess I'm supposed to talk now," but we weren't. We were staying silent to reveal him, and it was in true Reduced to Clear fashion, really. In many ways, it couldn't have gone better. But Edward Hecking Tidy. I don't know if Hecking is his official middle name, but it shall be as of now.
That sounds like a swear word or something, That was the point. I don't know what his middle name is. I chucked in Hecking. I don't know. I don't know, but that definitely should be his middle name now.
Yeah, perfect.
He is now Edward Hecking Tide. It's a thing I started doing ironically that stopped being ironic was instead of swearing, replacing everything with heck. And then there's just a thing where when you do something ironically and then eventually it just becomes implanted in your brain and you just start doing these things just
That's pretty much my life. My life already. So I don't know much about this guy. Is he what's he been in?
Hit us with some speed facts, Luke.
Oh,
speed facts.
I didn't know I had this. He was in one episode of The Crown.
Okay.
He was in a short film called The Getaway, and I've
heard of that actually.
He's a London-based actor. And he is perfect.
He is perfect. I think he's really underrated, right? I know that we haven't said much, but he is definitely underrated. No, we've looked at his show reel and we've had him there, and his level of preparation is mental. He literally had a 2-camera setup for his audition and lanyard prop ready, and he had the perfect delivery. Everything was great. Obviously, we can't go into what he's good at, but he is he's bonkers, Shane. He's Edward Heckin' Tidy is brilliant. I'm not gonna lie.
Edward Heckin' Tidy has made Alex speak more on this podcast than he has in this entire series. So he's won my vote.
I'm just messaging Edward to notify him that he's now called Edward Heckin' Tidy.
Yeah, let him know. He's called now.
So you're quite excited about Edward, Alex, because you properly bloomed up then, like your face just lit up. You're like, oh my god! Was it sort of your decision leading that to take him on?
No. I mean, it was equal. We make all these decisions as equals, Shane.
I don't believe that for a second.
No, you have to. It's true.
There have been points on both sides where we've had auditions come through, and I've said to Alex, "I think they're really great," and he's been like, "No." And vice versa.
I guess. Say, I know right at the start I said, have you guys sort of clashed on anything yet? And the answer is unanimous no. But I'm pretty sure that as this sort of has been going on and increasing, I guess that's changed a little bit.
You can't try and tear us apart.
Not in any big ways, really. And quite often,
I mean, you wouldn't be human if you didn't have disagreements. You know,
yeah.
You both got different ideas and stuff.
I call them disagreements. I think it's more just like we're looking for a person to play, and then we're like, I like this guy, but what do you think? And I'm just
and then quite often we end up waiting a bit, and then this other audition comes through, and we go, oh heck, that guy's perfect, and that's it.
It was
like actually the pauses have allowed us to realize that other people were amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you say he was from London, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. That's mint.
There's not really much more to say, is there?
Yeah, it was just fascinating because we watched his self-tape audition first, and it was just instantly we were both just unanimously like, "That's Mike," but we were like, we can't really just offer him the role straight away, but we were pretty sure we were gonna. So we were like,
you had to tease him a little bit.
Yeah, we were like, will you come and do a Zoom call audition with us? And for the entire time, we were like messaging each other on Instagram, just saying like during the call, being like, should we tell him yet?
Yeah, it's always awkward when we want to offer someone a part, isn't it? Right, because we're sat there and we're like, do you want to do it? And then we're sat there because we're having this little text chat and we're trying to think of a way. We're just going to staring at them and smiling and thinking that we're on autopilot talking, but instead we're just staring at them like weirdos while typing to each other. And we've done that like 3 times, but I think
it was twice. I think it was twice.
I can't remember.
It was Edward and Dawn. Those are the only two I've got. Dawn, who's playing.
Who's Dawn?
Barbara. Dawn Butler is playing Barbara.
Did we not? Was she not announced last time we were here?
She wasn't announced last time.
Wow, yeah. Dawn is another great actress. By the way,
well done, Alex. Well said.
I don't even think Adam was announced. I think we've got to actually go through everyone now.
Sure.
Sorry, I could have sent you pictures if I'd thought about it, but I hadn't realised how long it's been.
It's all right.
Yeah.
It's all right. Just Google them.
Adam Collins is another great actor and stuntman.
Yes, Adam Collins is acting isn't actually like the main thing he does. He's a Hollywood stuntman. He's done stunts for almost some of like the biggest films. But he's also a lead actor and writer director of a film called Outlawed. And just in seeing him in this kind of serious action movie, we instantly were like, that serious, because I knew Adam. I was a runner on a film he did nearly 2 years ago now. Whew. I was a runner for that, and I knew Adam from that. And just watching him in this film Outlawed and seeing how serious he was, I was like, it would be perfect to get someone who's almost exclusively done these serious roles and have them deliver these very, very stupid lines that we have written. So Adam is someone we're very, very excited about. Who else have we got? We haven't announced. Sarah, I don't know if we've announced yet. Sarah Malanga, who she's playing Lily, who's one of the customers in the shop. She's a brilliant actress, and actually, aside from her acting, does a lot of stuff as a lookalike for Meghan Markle.
Oh, really?
Like in the film, where hair and makeup, we're not gonna be distracted by she looks like Meghan Markle, but she's made quite a name for herself among the lookalike community and stuff, and she was just perfect for the role of Lily. We've then got Dawn, who's playing Barbara, as we talked about. Dawn was she's been in loads of stuff, but she's probably most known for her recurring role on Doctors as Pat Dyson. And then finally, we've got Carl Greenwood, who's playing Pete.
Now,
I think
there's a little interesting story about Carl, and that was how he was mainly the hardest one to decide for, right? You said we were talking about clashing earlier, and I had this one, right, and then Luke had Carl, and obviously they were both great, which is why it was a hard decision, but Carl took the edge, and obviously this was what I'm trying to say. It was our only tiny disagreement in casting, because
and just to verify, I was right.
You were right. Yeah, damn it, worked Carl, and it's great. It worked out in our favor.
And I think what was perfect actually is we'd cast. Actually, Alex, are we saying anything about who Pete is? Because the reason that Carl or
yeah. I know. Yeah, we'll leave that.
You have to be careful now.
We'll leave that.
Next
we'll
time,
leave that as a little. Maybe it's not really anything big, but it's
nothing
every
big.
Little things like
if they look at IMDb, then they can find out, right?
No,
are they not listed?
Well, no, they're listed, but they're
not listed as their roles.
Well, they're Lily and Pete. In the original script, they weren't Lily and Pete.
Oh yeah. No, never mind. My bad. Alex.
I think we have to say it now. I think.
Yeah, go for it. Just say it.
Okay. So they're playing.
Hey, we're the first here on the shoot.
Out in ourselves.
It's not really anything, really. No. But they play a married couple that come into the shop, and we'd cast Sarah as Lily quite early on. We were chatting with her, and she actually recommended Carl, who had played her husband in a different film before. And they've worked together a few times, and we thought actually it would be perfect for that pre-established dynamic to be there, because with a film where you've got someone working in a charity shop and customers coming in, most of the time, the actors don't need to have known each other because the characters are meeting for the first time. But when you've got something like a married couple, it's good for them to have that pre-established chemistry.
A little bit of history, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah,
it works.
Edward Tidy has said, in response to his name, has said, "Ha, I'm not against this, but why?"
Tell him to listen to the Yousefi Biscuit podcast. And he'll find out.
Perfect way of plugging it, actually. Yeah, tell him that. Tell him that exact line.
So Shane says, "You have to listen to the Yousefi Biscuit
Well, hang on. If I unplug my headphones, I will send him an audio clip. We'll do this.
Shane, should we have a conversation?
Here we go. So 3, 2, 1.
Yes,
Edward Heckin' Tidy.
Oh, yeah.
Edward Heckin' Tidy. For you to find out why you're called Ed.
Hang on, sorry. 3,
Damn it.
3, 2, 1.
Edward Heckin' Tidy. If you want to find out why you're called Edward Heckin' Tidy, then you need to listen to the Yousefi Biscuit podcast.
Yep. You should do that.
3 more. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah. Has he got that now? Is that his?
Oh God, excuse me.
Here we go.
You all right?
Yeah, so I'm just dying. It's fine. But yeah. So yeah, wow. You guys have been busy. I mean,
we've got a couple more things.
We've actually got a couple more. We're kind of on a roll here. We got.
Sorry.
What's next, Luke?
Well, the fact that we are liaising, but in deep talks with the perfect location. We won't say where they are yet.
It was so perfect.
We walked into this place and literally turned to each other and went, "That is exactly what we pictured when we were writing." For the coloring, for every single thing that was in this room. It was
down to the type
what I
of
pictured.
wood, Shane. Even the wood was the perfect type of wood, and this is crazy.
We can't say what the scene it is.
No, we can't. I was about to say slight thing, but that would just oh well.
Yeah, it's but essentially, yeah, there are 2 locations in. Actually, hang on, we can say. It's on IMDb.
Why do we keep doing this? We can't. We are so bad.
Oh, it's going to have so much fun with editing this.
We're not a great team.
Well, I've just realised because we've got an art director for each of the locations. So on IMDb it says art director for each thing. So it's a bar. We've got a bar. We've got a barman.
Yeah,
character.
perfect.
Scene in a bar, and it was identical bar to what we thought. And I've just received a 7-second audio clip from Edward Heckin Tidy.
It has chalkboards, Shane. It has chalkboards. That's what we wanted to. We needed those. So good.
So 7 seconds from Edward Heckin Tidy.
Oh my. I wouldn't want to play chess against you, because that is an absolute pro move.
What? What? Okay.
I just like the fact that you call me a pro. I'll take that. So you got a bar?
Yeah, we got a bar.
We can't say anymore. This time, with this time, honestly, we can't say anymore.
Yeah, honestly.
So obviously, these people that you've had audition now and you've casted into these roles now, has this been casted after, like, obviously you did like Simon Fisher Becker and Winter. Was they all cast at the same time, or are these people that you've casted since then?
A large amount of them we were either in talks with or had cast by the time we started.
I think Carl's an exception. He's like,
Carl might be the only one.
He's the most recent one we got, right?
Yeah, maybe we may have had everyone. People like Adam.
Yeah.
Are very, very busy people. So technically, a lot of these actors we've got announced are subject to availability. We're going to schedule around their availability, so that shouldn't be an issue. But for that reason, we didn't want to announce everyone in one go.
Yeah.
And we wanted to check with everyone. And I think it was just better for our social media presence as well.
Yeah. So have you found that, obviously, like you've obviously been doing auditions throughout almost, certainly the Reduced to Clear series of podcast. So have you found that you've auditioned somebody and you thought they would have been good at that person or that character, but we've already casted Winter or whatever?
I don't think so, right? I mean, we sort of stopped looking once we got everybody we thought was perfect. We didn't really want to.
Yeah, we've got there's the non-speaking parts that we've forgotten about, Alex.
Nah, man, I don't know what you're on about. This isn't even a bit. We genuinely don't have the best teamwork.
No, genuinely, because we've just left this.
Send me a cheeky text and I'll read it.
I've sent it to you on Instagram.
Oh yeah. I was going to bring that up earlier for sure. So
that's it. But,
yeah, okay.
But it's still a significant part, but because there's no dialogue for this part,
it's not
we've been scheduling for the read through, which is taking place next week on Zoom. The sort of non-speaking parts we've not been rushing as much as the others. But yeah, also, if anyone knows a gaffer, if you're a gaffer, that's the only member of crew we don't have. So
a gaffer?
Or a gaffer, yeah.
What do you mean a gaffer?
Lights.
I'm not too sure.
Most all the electrical stuff, but it's mostly the lighting who operates the lights and works with the director of photography to make it all good. We've got everyone except our gaffer. I've had to learn all the terminology very recently as well.
I thought you meant like gaffer isn't like a boss.
No.
We are the gaffers.
We are the gaffers.
But there's for anyone who's interested in the roles on a film set, there's a fascinating video on YouTube by a guy called Austin McConnell, which is called Film Credits Explained, I think, where he just goes through the end credits of a film and picks out every role and says what they do. It's about a 15-minute video, I think. Oh, maybe shorter.
I might actually look for that because
it's just fascinating, and I go back to it all the time just to double check.
I'm the sort of person that will skip through credits start. If it not really annoys me is when they put the credits at the start of the film. That winds me up because I'm just like,
and they do it again at the end too, right? So it's pointless.
I
skip them all the time.
I quite like credits at the start of the film. I like especially older films, like the anticipation that it's about to start. I quite like.
Yeah, maybe it's because you're a director. I don't know.
Yeah,
but for me, as an end user sort of thing, I find it frustrating, and I'm just like, so my partner will sit and like, you got like, the lion on and stuff like that, and all the lamp on Pixar, the start advertisement sort of things on films. She'll sit and watch all of them, and I'm like, nope, skip.
I won't skip them because, like Luke says, I do like the anticipation, but at the same time, I kind of just want to watch the movie. I've seen this bit. I've seen this bit before, but it is nice because some things, like you say, the lion. When you see that, you're in for a treat. You're going to watch a grand scale good movie, but like. I've seen you dumb lion. I don't need to see you again. But sometimes it is good seeing the lion. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think what I've found is opening credits I'll stick through. End credits I will only read if I genuinely enjoyed the film. That's if I genuinely enjoyed the film, I will sit and read the credits because I'd like to appreciate stuff. And if I've got time as well, like I like to read them. I don't like Lord of the Rings, right? That's probably awful to say. I despise them. We're watching through them with my family recently because my dad and my sister love them. I'm happy to turn that off straight away. There's 15 minutes of end credits after Fellowship of the Ring. I am fine leaving Fellowship of the Ring at its already 4 hours.
Be friends no more. We're done.
But for example, what I do love in reading credits is, especially now we're getting to know different people in the industry, is a few times recently I've had quite a treat in reading the end credits and gone, I know that guy. And
That's Dave.
I was watching an amazing movie called Their Fire. I sound like I'm trying to promote it. I'm not.
Yeah, I was going to say you're on a plugging spree today.
I'm just plugging everyone's stuff. I'm a big fan of Bill Nighy, right? I'll watch any movie Bill Nighy's in. I think he's an amazing actor. So I was watching a film called Their Finest, which I love. If anyone hasn't seen it, it's a great movie. Bill Nighy, Sam Claflin, Gemma Arterton. It's a brilliant film. And I sat down and watched it, really enjoyed it. And I thought, I'm going to stick through the credits. Then on there comes set decorator Liz Griffiths. And I go, I had her on a podcast because she did About Time. I was like, I know Liz. And so I text her and I was like, hey, just watch this movie. Great work. And I love that. And it's almost a reminder of actually how much of a small world it is in the industry.
I tell you what, film credits at the end of a film is really, 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 really useful for is choosing baby names.
You know what? I never thought of that. That's pretty cool.
I like that.
But I don't
All of my kids, apart from one, so 2 of my kids were named after somebody off a film credit.
Really?
Yep.
I kind of want to ask who, but if you don't know,
I can't remember. I can't remember who. Like, I just literally see the credits going, and I'm like, I just sit there, with my partner. I'm just like, what about Dave? And she's just like, no. I'm like, oh, okay. Watch more of the film, and I'm just like, well, what about Colt? And she just goes, no. I'm like, okay. And that's what I do on the end of the film until we've picked a name, and then I stop doing it. So it's handy for that because she's got so many names on there, and there's usually some quite cool and obscure names on there which we wouldn't even think of. And seeing it written down as well sometimes helps. Like actually seeing it on, actually seeing the actual name is better than just, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, on the topic of friends, I want to talk about this thing which I found genuinely funny, but also like quite a nice idea. Is that my grandparents aren't big users of like smartphones or whatever, and they rewatch through Downton Abbey a lot. And I went round to their house the other day, and I just saw this stapled booklet, and I was like, "What was it?" They have printed out the entire IMDb cast list on Downton Abbey, so they can figure out who's who when they're like, "Oh, who's that actor?" that they've just got the entire series cast list IMDb printed out.
Old people,
And
man.
I was like, I love this. I love this so much. And now they're watching a lot of The Crown. I really hope they do that for The Crown, because then our man Edward Tidy is going to be in their booklet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that. I'm not saying that to kind of take the mick. I was just like, I love this so much. I want to do something like that.
Talking about older people or parents and stuff on online. It's my dad's finally on Facebook, which is hilariously funny. Right, it won't mean a lot to anybody because unless you know my dad, but it is just hilarious that he's on Facebook. But his profile picture is Ragnar Lothbrok. Now, which is fine, whatever, cool, and so he has Ragnar as his profile picture, and the same picture for his cover photo, by the way, which is also really funny.
I like when people do that. Yeah.
What come up on my newsfeed the other day was hilarious, right? Because he obviously went and had his COVID jab, and he put the filter thing on his thing, so I had Ragnar Lothbrok saying, "I had my COVID vaccination." For some reason, I laughed at that for about 20 minutes. I was like, I think that's a bit too far gone. I don't think he needs it anymore. Especially from watching Vikings, then he definitely doesn't need it.
Yeah, well, my Facebook profile picture is me without my glasses on, which is weird. I'm not quite sure why. I
think you without your glasses on is the same as me without my hat on.
Yeah, it just doesn't look right.
Let's do this show.
You know what he looks like? He looks like what's his name off Little Britain? You just need to shave your head. Can you see it, Alex?
I've never been compared to Matt Lucas before. But,
that's it, Matt Lucas.
Thing is, I do know Matt, and he's a lovely bloke. I'll take that as a compliment.
I'm sure he is.
I've got him on Skype.
On Skype.
That's I know it's just the most random name drop, but I've got Matt Lucas on Skype. I interviewed him on my YouTube channel when I was in like year 7, and I still message him every now and again and just offer.
Yo, dude, how's it going? So what's next then, guys? So I'm assuming you got all your cast now, apart from your gaffer,
and a couple, like we say, a couple non-speaking roles, but that's it.
But we know
I'll do a non-speaking role if you want me to. I
don't think you can go for this one, sadly, Shane. I mean, if you want to stand it, you can do the stand in the back. Right, okay. Oh, blimey.
Being vague is so weird.
Being vague is hard, But,
this one we're talking about specifically, you can't do. But
you can't do this, Shane. I'm really sorry. This is literally nothing to do with what we want,
more funny watching you two squirm. It's making my day. Like,
but can you swallow swords? Is all I'm going to ask. Nah, okay. I don't think you can do this then.
How big's the sword?
You can't. It's quite a big sword, Shane. You haven't seen the size of the sword you're going to need to swallow. I trust. So yeah, I don't think you can do that. Nah, keep it PG rated on the Shrewsbury Biscuit.
Shane, I have just messaged you on Facebook with what the actual non-speaking role we're talking about is. Because you've been sent the script anyway.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah.
You want to do that? Yeah, I was going to say.
We're acting as if it's like something really horrible and risque, and I just want to say it's not.
It's not. I can assure anybody listening.
It's something that just requires an actual talent that people.
Ouch! Poor Shane, man. He's right there. You've got skills. You've got skills. Hear it from me.
Thank you, Alex.
You cut me off partway through. I was going to continue. You cut me off just as I said, "Oh, this requires actual talent." No, it requires a skill that isn't just acting. In fact, it's
or
probably
podcasting,
not
apparently.
It'd be interesting. But no, we may be. We may get into. Well, you guys are going to be here anyway for the videography stuff. So
yes,
feel free to hop in a shot for. Some point.
I'm getting in a shot. I'm going to photobomb that. Your film. Right. I'm totally going to photobomb
it. Just every angle change. If literally you look in the background,
as the camera pans, every time I go off shot, I'm going to reappear in another shot. It's in the background, like jazz hands. do different poses. Like
you just really ruin our script supervisor's day.
every time it'd be like action, cut, Shane.
Yeah.
Yeah, because literally, right, Callum, our script supervisor, that's his job to make that not happen.
Exactly.
That's literally his job.
Callum, we took a bunch of shots. Please just look through. Please look for Shane. We've heard of some things. I think he's going to try and end up in our film some way or another, and we can't have that. And then we just see your eyes under the table.
We're gonna see like through the window, like the other side of the street.
We'd have to properly discuss this, but I would potentially like this to be a collaboration with the Biscuit, where Shane is hidden in the background of one shot in one part of the film, and people have to watch the film every 10 rows of times, find Shane, and you win a signed photo of
Shane. I would totally be up for that, like an Easter egg. Like I could be the Easter egg.
Yeah,
and I could do it in my bald head as well, like spot the actual Easter egg.
We'll have to figure out if there's an actual place for this. I feel like in suggesting it, I could suddenly be just throwing Alex into a corner here, where he's just like, I can't say no on the air.
I'm never going to say no to Shane. Yeah,
not after I've just been slammed for having no talent. I can't break it. That might be like the final straw. Like that might end him.
You'll be fine.
But I'll be totally down for that. I'll be your Easter egg.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were possibly like debating and we were talking between us. We haven't got into it properly yet, but like several of the different people who we've had do interviews and stuff interview us about the film, be it either through like promotion on podcasts like this or radio shows and things like that. Every interview we've done, we were kind of wondering whether we then get back in touch with those people and ask them if they'd all like to be extras in the background of like one scene, where it's like every extra is someone who interviewed us about the film. It could just be a random kind of...
That could be cool.
Excluding Brad, of course, Alex. I don't think Brad would come from America
sadly.
be an extra in Reduced to Clear.
No.
I just remembered, actually, wasn't there what's his name? I forget his name now. From Radio 1. He did that to soaps, didn't he? With EastEnders.
Yes.
I can't he appeared in all of them.
I can't remember his name either, but yeah, there was...
I could see his face, clear as day. But he was in EastEnders, Coronation Street in Emmerdale. He appeared in all of them.
There's a couple of other people where there's like extras who are like specific extras that people look out for, which is what we and Alex and I do with Nanette.
With Nanette Finch, yeah.
Nanette Finch, who plays one of the characters in our film, is like we have a game sometimes whenever we're
is she a lot like Peter Postlethwaite, who appears to be in everything of a certain time?
I am so good. Who is that? Hold on, who?
You don't know who that is?
Say the name again. I'm going to Google it.
Peter Postlethwaite. Sorry, Alex. I'm not having that. That's.
Am I going to the naughty corner?
Yeah. I can't believe you don't know who that is.
Yes, I did know this guy.
I don't even know his face. What's he doing?
What?
I've never heard of this guy.
He used to live in Bishop's Castle.
Oh yeah, now I know him. Thanks. I haven't. What does he even look like? Oh. Yeah, I've seen him. Moving on.
He's been in loads of Romeo and Juliet. He's been in. I'm trying to think now.
Exactly. Jurassic Park.
Dragonheart, not Jurassic Park.
Did he do Jurassic Park too? Hold on, he did.
He did do Jurassic Park.
Yeah, I mean, Jurassic Park, Dragonheart. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry. We're gonna have to cut that right there because this guy is just random to me.
I knew the name, but the difference is between Ninette and this guy is that a lot of Ninette's stuff is like background artist, extras stuff. She has some speaking roles.
Yeah, like what I mean is like Peter, you'll find that he does a lot of lead roles, but then you'll also see him in the background of a lot of other films as well.
Yeah,
he's just there. Like whenever you spot, I just spot him. I'm like, Peter's there.
I'm gonna have to look out for him now.
Yeah. And I recommend everyone try and spot Ninette. I realise
that is a fun game.
It's a weird game because the whole point of extras is to blend in, and I feel like we're ruining her job by telling everyone to find her. But essentially, yeah, like I knew of her. I recognized her face when someone put us in touch with her for the part. I recommended her, and I was like, "Oh, she's the woman from Derek," because I love the Ricky Gervais show, Derek, and she was in that. She has a speaking part in that. She's one of the leads. But in a lot of stuff, I then Googled her, and she is considered the UK's most famous extra. And she's been in over. Well, there was an article from 5 years ago when she'd been in over 1,000 films and TV shows. So I imagine that number's way higher now. Wow. But pretty much whenever they need a woman of her age in a film or TV show, it's her. Any British show or film that we watch that's been made in the last 20 years, she's there.
She's been on the screen over 1,000 times. That is mad. She's done Sherlock Holmes, Les Mis. She's in Les Mis, was she?
She was in Les Mis.
She was in Downton Abbey. Downton Abbey's the gangster.
I'll have to see if her name's in my. see if her name's in my grandparents' special booklet for Downton Abbey. But yeah, she's done tons and tons, and it's such a fun thing. I was watching. I think the listeners on this will probably know. About Time is a film I am obsessed with. I did a show.
Really? You never mentioned it.
I did a show called 2 Minutes About Time, wherein I analysed it 2 minutes at a time. So I know it inside out. I know it shot for shot. I own 7 copies of the DVD, as you saw last episode.
You do know you can only watch one at a time, don't you?
I do. But it was... yeah, I was rewatching that. Well, I was showing it to you, Alex, wasn't I? I think to introduce.
Yeah, my first watch of it, and only, but first watch of it.
We got there, and in the background, blurred in a shot, we both just suddenly went, "Hang on, is that Ninette?"
Yeah, we saw. It was mad.
I don't think I actually verified whether it was.
I was going to say it was her, right? It definitely was her.
Either that, or there is someone who looks a lot like Ninette. But yeah, I'm pretty certain it was her. I'll have to double check with her. But
that sounds of it with the notoriety, it probably was.
Yeah,
I mean, that's some work. That is to get into that many films. When you've got so many actors and stuff that are failing and they don't make it because it's just such a difficult field to get into, which it is. Having somebody like Ninette who's just absolutely smashing it. She must be like auditioning for literally everything.
I think she'll be a fascinating person to get on this show at some point if she's up for it. I'll drop her a message.
I'm excited to talk to her.
We've only WhatsApp messaged her. We haven't spoken to her.
We're getting round to it, but it's going to be fun.
It's just when you find out you've been catfished. It's actually a 20-year-old lad.
It was About Time that actually looks like Ninette, but it's not Ninette. I mean,
I bet Ninette is actually Alex Whiteley. He just really wants to be in a film. So he's going to turn up with a wig.
But it's essentially it's the reason we just haven't spoken to her yet is just like especially with all he does, like it's manic, but things are all seeming to kind of be returning back to normal. That our schedules are getting better. I think a lot of the stuff towards the film we've pretty much got done now. I think because whether we will or not, probably not. Because we're always chatting and rewriting and changing stuff. That is what we're planning on doing this week, isn't it? There's a little bit that we're changing a couple of days before the read-through, because that's how organised we are.
Awesome.
Yep.
But I think we are going to be reaching the point where we could take a month off. We probably won't, but
really?
we could. Okay. Do you think, Alex, that we're at a point where we probably have kind of...
including like no press, no nothing? Or is that press?
No, I mean, what I mean.
You don't get away from me that easily, Alex.
Yeah, I was going to say.
No, what I mean is we probably won't take a month off, but we could afford to at this point.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that at some point you're going to have to start shopping. Things like costumes, like props, that kind of stuff. At what point does that start happening?
We've got people to do that.
That's
the thing. That's the thing. But no, we
You're just sat there in your director's chair, but not. I don't do that sort of stuff.
No, we see we
Amazon. I don't shop at Amazon. I shop at M&S and I buy the caterpillar cake.
Oh, relevant. No, yeah. So basically, they'll go shopping. We'll bring our director's chairs. We'll just sit there watching them shop.
And then tell them how bad they are at it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Do you throw things at them whenever they buy the wrong thing?
No, I mean, there's no one specific person for it. We've got the different departments, costume,
from what you're saying, like you got so many people doing all this stuff for you. Does that mean you just sit there lying on your side eating grapes? Like
no, it means that it means actually it's no less work really, because it's our job to organise all these people.
Somebody else will feed us the grapes. Carry on. I don't want that.
I think that right there is the most funniest thing you've said on this podcast so far. Like from the start, bar none. From nowhere as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever do this, but could you take that little snippet of conversation and put that pre-titles at the start of the show?
I'm sure I could do something.
Play that before the main tune, and then like as a little preview clip to hook the listeners in.
Yeah,
I've never done that with my own stuff, but that feels like that's.
Al's really good at taking bits out. Yeah, he does it all the time to me because whenever I do a doozy, I mix up my words or something, he always snips it in and sends it to me, laughing his head off, and I'm like, oh, thanks.
Well, Alex, you have the ability to do that when we're just on call, don't you? On your computer,
I do.
Is that you recorded a weird conversation we had the other day?
I did. I like doing that. It's pretty fun.
Do we say what the exchange was, because it was one of my
if you want to, doesn't matter.
Okay, so we were looking at train tickets, right? Just working out the price, and you can't book as late on as we're looking for filming in August. You can't book that far ahead,
right?
And so Alex, we were looking at like previous. We were looking at tickets for like next week, how much it would cost hypothetically to kind of work out how much it would be. And Alex just said, why don't we look at buying tickets from last year? And I just said, Alex, you can't book a train to the past. That was it. It's
See, the sort of stuff that you can
I also feel like this is one of these anecdotes that was way funnier at the time. It probably doesn't sound that great here.
Honestly, that happens all the time to me, right? Because I've got a really weird sense of humor. I just have, and my sister has got a very similar sense of humor, but she's actually just far more intelligent than I am. So she she gets on like a different level. So whenever we're together, we do a lot of this stuff, and we'll just start laughing our heads off because just over a look that we're just giving each other at a certain situation. Nobody else gets it. Nobody else understands why
I have that exact same sense of humor with my sister, actually. Yeah, where it's like I don't even understand why it's funny.
It's just, we just look at each other and that's it. We just start laughing, and it's just, and it could be the most inappropriate times as well. Honestly,
but just picture me with these great anecdotes. 70 years from now, I'm sitting down with the grandkids, and I go, and then I said to him, Alex, you can't book a train to the past.
And all the kids sat around you on the floor, just look at each other like.
Yep.
The ironic thing being that 70 years from now, you can book a train to the past.
And your child, their parent, starts kicking them and be like, make sure you laugh. It's your granddad. And they're like, yeah, it was one funny, granddad. And you'll be laughing it up.
We already had to sit through that crap comedy film Reduced to Clear. Can't go much further now.
Yeah, after you've had your Christmas dinner, you're like, come on then, kids, let's watch Reduced to Clear. It's a film that I made. They were like, oh, God.
They were like, why do we do this every Tuesday?
And after we've watched that, we can watch About Time.
And then, guys, common denominator for pudding.
Right. On that note, we're starting to run out of time. It's coming up because I know it takes Alex a good 5-10 minutes to plug his Instagram. So guys, as usual, where can we find everybody? We'll do Luke first because he can get through his quicker.
I'm going to extend it by plugging my podcast as well. Can I do this? Or am I
plug whatever you want, mate.
I'm going to just plug that, actually, because I've plugged a load of stuff before. The Love Rosie podcast, which is hosted by myself and Ellen Asprey, who produced a Clear Connection. She's the art director for the bar scene. We both go through Christian Ditter's 2014 rom-com, Love Rosie, and we analyze it 5 minutes at a time, but we have loads of tangents about life and about cinema. We're both film students, so we have tangents about cinema, and it's just a lot of fun. So if anyone, whether you've whether you've seen Love Rosie or not, I think you'll still find it pretty fun because you'll know what's happening because we play clips from the film, we read through the dialogue, like we play it and then we talk about it and then we tangent, and it's more interesting than it sounds, honestly. You can find us at Love Rosie Pod on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or search any podcast platform for the Love Rosie Podcast. And we have some very exciting guests booked that we can't talk about yet.
You do like your secrets, don't you, Luke?
We're recording with someone very exciting on the 7th of May.
Awesome.
So that episode will probably be out shortly after, because I'm imagining we're not going to want to keep hold of that. We're just going to want to set it free.
So, anything else you want to plug? You got your Instagram on your name.
Yeah, the Ginger Luke on Instagram. That's the main thing. I'll do it all now. I'm on Twitter at llama_bottle0. Facebook at Luke Allen Film. All podcasts, radio appearances, newspaper articles, short films, anything I'm remotely involved in is all at lukeallen.co.uk. Other stuff I never plug. I'm on Podchaser. I think that's just Luke Allen. I don't know. I've never done this before. I'm on Podchaser, and I'm also on IMDb, as you can find us and the film there. And I've got a TikTok, but I've never used it, so I'm not going to plug that.
You got to watch my TikTok; you'll enjoy it. My missus hates my TikTok. She says it's cringe, proper cringe.
I've kind of just got it in order to watch other people's at the moment.
Yeah, I've made some TikToks. It's I don't.
All right, Shane, steal the plug spot. What's your TikTok?
Sorry, no, that's fine. Alex.
Yeah, bloody hell. Do you remember that time 5 months ago when Shane said that I take a long time to plug? What was that? Come on. All right. You can find me on Instagram at... Okay. All right. This is a mouthful, everyone. I hope you got your pen and paper. It's rice.by.daylight. I'm going to change it at some point. It's stuck with me, so it's my thing now. I might just have it in my username. But
it's going to be on your gravestone, mate.
Yeah.
It's like rice.by.
The people will die by the time they finish reading it.
The thing is, I don't know what that means, but that sounds like a cause of death. Alex Yousefi, Rice by Daylight.
He was Rice by Daylight, man.
Happens to the worst, happens to the best of us.
Anything else you want to plug, Alex?
Nah, that's it.
I'd like to apologise to any listeners who have relatives who have been Rice by Daylight for our Instagram.
Wait, can we plug the Mr. Middle Instagram?
Yeah.
All right, hold on a minute. Let me get it up. Luke, can you do it? You're better at plugging.
You just complained that I took forever. I'm going to deliberately extend this one out because I can. You can find us on Instagram at instagram.com/MRMIDD, it's 2 Ds, LEFILM, and then finishing it off with an S. So yeah, you'll find us at Mr. Middle Films on Instagram.
Yeah, and that's the Instagram for essentially your directorship sort of thing, is it? Yeah,
that's us. That's how.
So if anybody wants to contact you with regards to like maybe making a film or anything of that kind of ilk, that's where they need to go. Really,
that's where they need to go.
They can, and we can tell them that we don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, that would be fine.
None of us know what we're doing, mate. We're all just win it. It's what we all do. And I better do my one, which I always muck up, and I always used to get Al to come in and do it, but he's not here, so unfortunately I'm going to have to do it. So I do apologise. You can find us at the shrewtybiscuitpodcast.co.uk. That's made for us by our friends over at Web Orchard. They've actually done our website. They've done USUC. They've done Pete White. He's an absolute legend. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to mention, really. We are looking for sponsors. We are registered CIC. So, it's non-profit. All the money goes straight into the podcast to make it sustainable. And we have a form on our website, made by Pete White at Web Orchard. So fill that in. And either that'll drop us an email and hopefully we'll get you on board to come and work with us. That'd be brilliant. And I think that is a wrap.
Toodle pip.
Thanks for having us on. Don't get rice by daylight. See you next time. Let's end
it. Pip, my lad.
Concentrate. Do well at school, kids. Yeah. And make sure when you do make an Instagram, when you get to that age, you don't make it a ridiculously long age. Long name. That failed. Anyway,
Stay in
right,
school.
I'm off.
Don't
See you in a bit.
Bye.